Here today we have the magical Madoka. This is the Tomoe Mami Pullip, available at the Junkie Spot. And before we go ahead and do a rundown on the actual body and review of the doll, let's take a look at some of the really cool stuff that she comes with. She is superly awesome because she comes with such an intricate outfit. This is her, I guess you could say her magical girl outfit. She also comes with another outfit. This is her school uniform, and it has the stockings, the skirt, the top, and shoes. She has these hair ornaments that you can put into her hair. It's got a little elastic band that you would wrap around her ponytails. And the awesome character card. All of this comes in a lovely printed box with the logo of the anime from which she comes from. Included in the box as well are a set of instructions on how to assemble the stand, and also how the eye mechanism works in the back of her head. So let's go ahead and take a look at her because her body is quite unique, and sometimes a lot of the people that look into these dolls don't really get to see the bodies, and they see the clothing and they see a bunch of the awesome cool stuff that they come with, but we don't get to see what's underneath. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look and see what we have. Everything that is on the doll can come off, and nothing's permanently attached to it, with the exception of the wig. The wig is something that is permanently attached. There's some tutorials and different things like that you can take the wigs off and whatnot and change them out with something else. But for the most part, the wigs that they have are stuck onto them and they do not come off. So let me go ahead and I'm going to take off some of this plastic. The pull-up that I have here has the plastic still on her arms and on her legs. Do not freak out if something pops off. The bodies that they have are very similar to that of an Obitsu doll, to where they have kind of like a peg system in place. So now that our plastic off of her hands and her feet have been removed, you'll notice a couple different things. She's got some different areas and jointing on her body. The body itself is actually made out of ABS, so it's something very similar to that of kind of like the Hujo dolls. They're all made of that like kind of plasticky material. It's not resin. Another really interesting thing about the pull-up bodies themselves is that sometimes people modify these dolls and will put a Obitsu doll body in place of the body itself, which takes a bit of modification, but it is something that is really awesome and a really cool option to explore. So let's go ahead and take an even closer look. We're going to go ahead and remove her clothing, so excuse me for doll nudity. Everything in the clothes and whatnot is through Velcro, so it comes off fairly easy. So this is her without her clothing on, and it's really cute. I'm actually not 100% sure because this is the first time I've actually removed clothing off of the pull-ups, but I don't know if they all come with underwear or not, but that was really cute that she had like a little bra, and I don't mean to be like all weird, but it's a little padded bra too. As you can see, I mean, the body itself looks very similar to that of an Obitsu body. So this is her compared to a 27 centimeter body. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty much it's a good, you know, shift over to another body if you want a different body than the original one. There is some modifications that you would have to do, such as opening the head and then drilling some, not drilling, but sanding down portions of like the neck piece to fit the head in order for the transfer to fit very well. Also, another thing to keep in mind would be definitely the coloration. This is like a peach or a normal skin, and so it doesn't really look all that similar. I mean, you might be able to get away with it, but this one right here, this other Obitsu that I have right here that's laying on top of the two of them here, this is considered a white skin, and so I think if you were going to try to do, you know, a switch over, the white skin Obitsus probably would be a better skin tone match than our peach one. I mean, if you want a peach or normal skin one, I mean, it's up to you, but I think personally, looking at the two, that this one kind of matches a little bit better as far as the colors go. So let's go ahead and take a look at this body then. So, like I had mentioned before, they have different areas and parts where different areas and different parts in which they pivot and move. As far as the head goes, range of motion for our head, she really can't tilt her head from side to side, really. She can turn it from left to right. Same story for up and down. She really doesn't move her head up and down. She has a two-part torso system here, which means that she's got an upper part right here and this middle part, and that's pretty much it. As far as the middle torso being able to move, she can move from side to side. It can move slightly forward and slightly back, but very, very little. Our arms can extend, and they actually hold quite nicely, just kind of like, you know, similar to that of our Obitsu friends. Although the interesting thing about these parts that they have here is that they have different parts to the arm. You'll notice that she actually has 4 parts to her arm. She has the part up here that's the socket area. She has her kind of like upper arm area that can actually pivot and twist. She has the elbow joint here, which can bend. And like most dolls, it's the other side, you know, it would be this area that could pivot and twist, but the way that it's pivoting and twisting is through this upper part right here. So you can see that when I shift it, it's moving from the top part up here. It's not really necessarily moving this. It's not like this part, bottom part moving. It's this part up here that's moving her arm. And then we have our hand. The hands actually have a really nice range of motion. They can go up and down. Not really so much side to side, but they can twist from side to side. Moving down to where our hips are at, you'll see that she has the socket piece right here, just like pretty much all of our dolls do for the hip joint area. This one has kind of like a ball and socket, but an enclosed ball and socket. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. This is really strange and really odd, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do this as best as I can so you can see the inside here. As you can see, right there, it has kind of like a ball, and that's what's making it move open and closed. So this is not necessarily a piece that you can really pull out. At least I wouldn't recommend pulling it out, but it gives her the mobility to open up her legs to this extent. It doesn't go further than this. The grooves on her legs right here kind of stop her when she's sitting. So when she sits, it kind of holds it there. Her leg doesn't really go back past this point. Her knees are another interesting piece that we have. You'll see that there's actual metal inside of here, and that's kind of like the hinges for the knee. So when she bends it bends it in place quite nicely, and it'll keep it. It doesn't go past this point right here. And like I mentioned before, the pieces pop out. I just remove it from the portion that I'm looking to remove it from there. And now I can see a little bit closer into this knee. So this is what her lower part of her leg looks like. They have these rivets, and my assumption and my thinking behind this is because of traction. Compared to our Obitsu friends, if you were to pull apart a knee from them and take a look, this peg doesn't have any of those ribs. So those are those two compared together side by side. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her back in there. Like I said, it's really easy to put the piece back in, so if it does happen to fall out, you can just, simply just put it back in there with, no problem whatsoever. We go down to our feet. She's got tiny feet. They're just hinges. It's yet another piece that you really can't remove. You can't pull this piece out like you can with the hands. They're kind of like stuck this way. You really can't do anything else. But not like you need anything else to be done with them, and I don't know if you really want your foot to be able to pop off anyway. Just basic movement. It goes down, it goes up. Doesn't really go from side to side like tilting inwards or outwards. They're like super tiny. So that's pretty much the body. The kind of main, I guess, awesome selling point, I don't know if it's really the selling point, but the really interesting thing to me about these dolls are the heads. The bodies and everything else, I think they come with stands because they want you to put them on the stands, because they're really nice display pieces since they come so detailed. It might take some major balancing to get them to sit on like an edge of a table or something without the stand. But the stands are going to be really, your saving piece. They have a hard time pretty much standing on their own because their heads are so heavy. And the reason why their heads are so heavy is because they have the wig up here, they have the eyes, and then they have this. This is the eye mechanism that controls their eyes. This middle piece right here that looks like a little switch that goes left and right will make the eyes look left and right. You can also center it in the middle so they're looking in the center. These two pegs here that you can actually push down on, and you can actually push all the way and lock are what make the eyes blink, and it makes them shut. You can actually click it down all the way and then the eyes will close completely. If you want the eyes to open back up, you'll just push up very softly onto the little peg and then they pop right back up and the eyes open up again. So I think that's something that's really cool that, you know, not a lot of dolls kind of have. But with that being said, you can't really switch the eyes out unless you're really going to take the doll apart. And like I had mentioned before, the wigs are pretty much like stuck to them. They're glued. It's not something that you can, you know, just pull off. It'll take some stuff in order to, you know, get it off. And honestly, I don't know what it is right now at this point. I haven't done the research for it. But I just know that it's attached to the head, and if you want to remove it, you're going to have to do some stuff and modifying and whatnot. Same thing if you were looking to modify the body to an obitsu body, there's going to be some stuff that you'll have to do. So that is our pull-up girl. It's pretty basic. She has a lot of really cool stuff that makes her really unique. The dolls themselves come with so many awesome items, and everything is so detailed. It just really amazes me just looking at, just looking at this little piece of clothing right here. If you've ever seen the Madoka series, it's pretty spot on. If you're interested in this doll or now looking into other pull-up dolls, please go ahead and check out the Junkie Spot. They have some really awesome pull-ups there. Not only do they have the Madoka dolls, they do actually offer a couple of other different dolls from different series as well. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send me a message either here on YouTube or I'm also on Facebook as well. I have more links in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye!